In this next fight here, Trevin Giles versus Preston Parsons. This is a cool fight. It's a pick'em, and I understand why. Trevin Giles is a veteran. He's been in there with some high-level guys in the top 15, top 10. Preston Parsons, he's coming up in the UFC. This is going to be his third fight. Had a hard fight in his debut against Daniel Rodriguez, where took a huge step up in competition. Didn't necessarily do the best. Got finished in the first round. He showed his toughness, but couldn't end up surviving the onslaught. But came back in his second UFC fight against Evan Elder, who was another prospect, and looked really impressive in that fight. He looked good, and I do like what I see from Parsons. Parsons is a fighter that comes in great shape. He's 100% dedicated to MMA, and he's looking to go to the top with this, whereas with Trevin Giles, it's hard to say the same with him. I know that at one point he was a full-time police officer, and I believe he quit that job now. I think he's just working solely on MMA, but I do question his kind of dedication to the sport in comparison to Preston Parsons. I think that Parsons may be a little bit hungrier at this point in his career. And when you look at how these guys match up, Giles is definitely going to be looking to keep it on the feet, and he is the superior striker. Parsons is a grappler, and he's definitely really athletic, so he's improved his striking, especially offensively. He has good footwork and good counter hooks, and he has power in his hands, decent kicks as well. And his defense has gotten a lot better, but Trevin Giles, he has one of the best jabs in the division. He has a pretty good rear cross, pretty good ability to pull counter, and he's long and rangy. He's big for the weight class, so he's going to be looking to use his defensive wrestling, use his distance control and footwork to keep the range, land the jab, land the counter crosses on Parsons. So we saw against Daniel Rodriguez, he got clipped with some jabs, some straight crosses, and eventually got overwhelmed and finished. So Giles, I don't think has the power that Rodriguez has or the sharpness or volume, but he needs to be able to up the volume and maybe show some new power in this one to get on this 2-fight win streak. We saw Trevin Giles win his last fight against Luis Cosi, but really lackluster performance from both guys. And the one thing that I did see in that fight is in the third round when Luis Cosi went for the one single leg that he did in the whole fight. He got it, and you see Giles use that wide stance. And Preston Parsons is a great grappler, man. He definitely is impressive on the ground. He is very strong as well. You'll see him close the distance on guys, and he can get big lift takedowns, slams. His cardio is on point. And I think that he's going to be able to hit some takedowns, time some takedowns in this fight, and control on top. We saw Luis Cosi in the one round that he did go for the takedown have a lot of top control, and he won that round in my opinion. I think Parsons is someone that can get overzealous on the ground. He'll get very aggressive trying to hunt submission to go for the back, but I think it's because he knows that he is good on bottom too. I've seen him throw up submissions off his back and hit arm bars. I've seen him sweep really effectively, so I think he's just very comfortable on the ground anywhere, so he's willing to go for submissions, lose position, and then know that he could either sweep back to top position or even get a submission from bottom as well. And his cardio is top notch, so he's always moving. He's always trying to be active on top when he gets the takedown. When he's on the feet, he's always pressing. He's working the body kicks, and he's trying to back you up and get the takedown. And I just feel like he's going to want it a little more than Giles. I wouldn't be shocked if Giles came 100% on point. He could stop the takedowns and use his boxing to get the victory, but I just don't trust him at this stage in his career, what's gone on already in the UFC for him, and I think that Preston Parsons is going to come in hungrier. I think he's going to be more active. I think he's going to hit a couple takedowns, and I think that he's either going to get a submission victory, as we've seen Giles get submitted with front chokes in a couple fights when he's gotten tired before, or he's going to win via decision. So I'm going to go with Preston Parsons, going to go with the prospect here, the younger guy, and I'm going to take him to get the victory over Trevin Giles.